Here we are now, entertain us. This is something that Kurt Cobain used to say when he walked into a party. He meant it in a way that was like, here we are now, we showed up, entertain us, do your part, you promised a party, show me one. Now, if you don't know who Kurt Cobain is, he was the lead singer and guitarist for Nirvana. Nirvana was a rock band that formed in 1987. Kurt Cobain formed the band with Chris Novoselic and Aaron Burkhardt. Chris was the bassist, and Aaron was the first drummer that they ever had in their band. Like I said, they formed this band in 1987, and Aaron left the band in 1987, so he didn't even make it a year. They had plenty of drummers during the time period that they were a band. But the drummer that lasted the longest was Dave Grohl. He was their drummer from 1990 until 1994. And kind of a fun fact is he actually went on to form the Foo Fighters. And Chris from Nirvana actually joined him after Nirvana was no longer a band. So that was pretty cool. But back on the subject. So they started this band in 1987, and they signed with DGC Records in 1991. And after signing with DGC Records, they were claimed a global success after releasing their single of Smells Like Teen Spirit off of their second album, Nevermind. Smells Like Teen Spirit was recorded in May of 1991 in Sound City, California. And according to biography.com, it was the song that launched 1,000 grunge bands because of its distinctive distorted guitar riff and it became Nirvana's most popular song. Smells Like Teen Spirit got its name from a deodorant brand. Kind of crazy to think about, but let me enlighten you. So Kurt Cobain was friends with Kathleen Hanna, and Kathleen Hanna was in a band with Kurt Cobain's girlfriend. So one day Kurt and Kathleen were out wandering the streets very drunk, having a grand old time, and they found a fake abortion clinic that they were pranking apparently, and Kurt wrote in big old letters, "God is gay." And I thought that was pretty funny, and it's kind of off topic, but in a bunch of the articles that I found, he used to say before he started every show, and to these people, to his listeners, to his audience, that if you believe that women, homosexuals, or people of color should be treated any differently, then get out. And I thought that was super cool that a member of a rock band in the 1980s was for that. I thought that was super cool. But back on subject. So they were walking around, doing all this crazy stuff. Kathleen Hanna even said she threw a ball on someone that day. And they finally made it back to Kurt Cobain's hotel room, where she spray painted on the wall, "Kurt smells like Teen Spirit." Kurt woke up the next morning, had no clue what that meant, but decided to use it as a song title because it was a super weird and super cool, and the song was kind of the same thing. He later found out that Kathleen wrote that up there because Kurt's girlfriend wore a deodorant named Teen Spirit. So she apparently thought that he smelled like Teen Spirit, so she wrote that on the wall. And as we know, he ended up using the name. He kept the name even after he found out it was from a deodorant brand. And I think that he kept it because it had an origin story, and it was such a weird name, and it was so unique that he just kept it. And really the song itself is so unique and weird like that. The song just uses a bunch of contradictory words and sayings. I mean, it says, "I'm worst at what I do best," "a mulatto, an albino," "a mosquito," "my libido." It honestly uses a bunch of gibberish throughout the song to me, and Kurt has warned his readers to not listen to it, to not read into it. Don't read into the lyrics. He's warned people. But people didn't listen, obviously, because here I am writing, giving this speech about what this song means. But I do think that it was he just wrote these weird contradictory sayings out, words, what contradicts what, and that's just, he threw it on paper. But there are people that believe that what he was going through reflected in his songs. Kurt Cobain had struggled with heroin addiction and depression for a lot of his life, and sadly he lost his life to depression in April of 1994. He was found in his home with a self-inflicted shotgun wound. He was found 3 days after he allegedly passed away. It was super sad. It rocked the generation just because he had been such a big figure for everybody. And he was actually induced into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame alongside Chris and Dave, who were also the members of Nirvana, as I stated earlier. So that was super cool. But even given these points, this song, Smells Like Teen Spirit, was finally given the recognition that it deserved. It was named by NME number 2 in the greatest songs of all time, and by Kerrang it was listed number 1 with the same title, the greatest song of all time. And it was also induced into the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll of Fame's list of songs that shaped rock and roll. So I thought that was really cool. It was listed one of the songs that shaped rock and roll altogether. And then in 2017, so more recently, it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. So really, I thought it was pretty interesting that this song, even today, a couple years ago, is still getting the recognition that it deserved, giving Kurt the recognition that he deserved, even though he can't be here to see all of these titles and awards that this song is getting. And I believe that it deserved this because it was different. It was distorting. It was distinctive, and it was daring. And I just don't think that people in that generation even wanted it. It was an unusual anthem because it refuses the role of an anthem, and they didn't want an anthem. But Kurt Cobain didn't listen, and he gave them the anthem that they didn't know they wanted, but they needed. Thank you.